For today's review, I wanted to talk about a little movie called Simon Birch. This is a movie I saw a long, long time ago when I was a kid. Um, and I remembered liking it, thinking it was a good movie, and I do, of course, remember it being very sad. This is a movie that you definitely classify as a tearjerker, which that kind of classification, I mean, that immediately may put some people off. Like, a lot of people may want to avoid movies like that. Either they don't want to, get into that whole thing, or just, I don't know, like there's this attitude of how dare this movie try to make me cry or something like that. But I mean, every movie that you go into, it has a presumption about it. If it's a comedy, it wants to make you laugh. If it's a horror movie, it makes you want to be scared. Action movie, thriller, makes you want to, be thrilled and excited, things like that. So I mean, every movie has a certain goal, and certain movies' goals are to create an emotional reaction, which yes may result in some tears rolling down your cheek a little bit. Simon Birch, I would say it's a little more distinctive than just your average tearjerker, because what it does, I mean, for one thing, this is a movie that has a real sense of its characters, and has a truth to its characters, which I really like and appreciate. But it doesn't necessarily work on that presumption, like, yeah, we want to make you cry. Because the curious thing about it, like, literally within seconds of this movie, it opens up with narration as the main character, Joe, who's an adult, looking back on this Simon Birch feller. He reveals, one, that Simon Birch dies. He's at his grave, and two, reveals that his mother dies. So I mean, usually, like, the sad things about movies are like, okay, so and so character dies, but that's like almost as if it were your standard hollow tearjerker. That's like giving away the surprise, basically. So the movie isn't working on just that alone, if that makes any sense. So where the real emotional connection is, I think it is in its characters. This is directed by Mark Steven Johnson, who, for one thing, he wrote two of my favorite movies, which are Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men. Which I love those movies so much, and he did later go on to direct two of the, or three of the least liked superhero movies, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, and Elektra. This is probably his best movie. He did also write the screenplay adapted from John Irving's novel A Prayer for Owen, Meany. At Irving's request, the name was changed to Simon Birch. I guess, he just thought nothing could ever capture what I put on page here, so you can adapt it, you can make this movie, but please call it something else. And he suggested the name Simon Birch, so this is what we have as Simon Birch. And I think the direction and writing is really, really superb for this movie, because, again, I do think there is a truth to the characters. I think it doesn't really cheat in a way that makes you want to cry specifically, but it makes you want to care for these characters, and it makes you want to invest in these characters, which I think it absolutely does. If you don't know the basic story of it, it is, this Simon Birch character, a very curious case. He's the son of a granite quarry owner, born very, very tiny. There's even like a humorous scene that shows his birth where the mother is in labor, she sneezes, and he just pops right out, and the doctor's like, what? So he's a very, very tiny fella, and I guess dwarfism, and so we're very curious about this character, and when we finally see it, it's great. I mean, I feel like I immediately fell in love with this character, because first time we see him, it's in Sunday school with the other kids, and they're pulling him up, and they're carrying him over their shoulders. He's like levitating over them, because I don't know, it's not even that they're bullying him, it's just this, I don't know, kid-like curiosity, like, this guy's so tiny, let's pick him up. And you hear him in this tiny labored voice that's very endearing. He's like, put me down, you assholes, and just to hear that come out of him, it's like, okay, we get it. This is a character that can be lewd, and, use foul language. And in some later scenes, he's, uh, very much giving into like sexual temptation, acting on it in one of the funnier scenes of the movie, which I don't want to give away in case you haven't seen it. So this is a real character, you know. In a movie like this, there would almost be like a temptation to make this saintly character, like, oh, I'm small but I'm wise and blah blah blah. But there is parts of that too. I mean, basically, this character who his parents, you know, want nothing to do with him. You know, everyone kind of stares him down like this little odd creature. And really, the only friend he has isn't Joe, and the same is to be said of Joe. Joe feels, you know, that he's different too, but in a not so visible way. He's growing up not knowing who his father is. His mother, played by Ashley Judd, won't tell him thing one about it. So he's this kid without a father. They're both outsiders, and they find a kinship in each other, which I think, you know, the core of this movie is that friendship, and both of them having their goals. You know, they each have, you know, certain plans. Joe wants to, of course, find out who his father is once and for all after his mother passes, and he knows that he'll never find out from her, of course. And Simon, he's got this idea about him that he believes he's God's instrument. He believes there's a special plan for him, and he's this way for a very specific reason. And you know, even like the priest in the church is like, oh well, good for you, David Strathairn, very good in his role as the priest. And you know, the movie definitely has religious elements to it. Like he's, you know, talking about being a God's instrument. God has a plan for me. There's the Sunday school stuff. It's I would say fairly religious based, but it's not like, you know, it doesn't feel like a religious propaganda kind of movie. Like Kevin Sorbo is not in this movie. Don't worry. But I don't know. I wasn't paying too close of attention, but I don't even think they really specify any denomination or anything like that. This is a very general way. So, I mean, like, if you're, like, totally off put by religion or something, replace God with, like, the universe or fate. The universe or fate has a special plan for me, you know, things like that. So, it's about purpose. It's about finding your way. And these two kids kind of help each other in their, you know, own ways and go on this journey, basically. And it's very moving, I think. Ian Michael Smith as this character, as Simon Birch. This is the only movie he ever did. Very much, you know, right into this character, not having any previous acting experience as far as I know. He is phenomenal in this movie. This is a great performance, really. I mean, he's tiny, has the small voice, but it is a big performance, and it's a great one. Also, Joe Mazzello, great as Joe. Of course, best known for Jurassic Park, little Timmy from Jurassic Park. You know, usually I've said this, you know, on my channel before, but usually like kid actors annoy me. You know, I don't think they're quite that good. A lot of times they just bug me so much. But I don't know. Every so often you get a movie, you know, like Stand By Me, or even like My Girl, and of course like Simon Birch, where the kid actors they're so. The main part of the movie. They're so focused on the, you know, main story. It's a story about kids that you have to get these great actors. It's so important, and I think the two actors here do great work. This is really great work from young actors, and you know, I do think it's a moving movie, and it's not in the very specific type of ways that you would think. It's not like, you know, oh, this person, so-and-so dies and it's very sad. I do think it's based around the characters. You know, both of these characters do find their resolutions maybe not in quite the ways that they maybe expect or even plan or want to. I mean, Joey's trying to find his father, and meanwhile he does kind of find a father figure in one character played by Oliver Platt, who was originally dating the mom before she died, and, you know, kind of finding something out about him. And so you kind of think, you know, it's about finding your real father, quote unquote real father, though that doesn't necessarily mean biologically. So I think there's a nice, you know, a journey there through that. And Mazzello, he's absolutely sincere in his performance. And of course with Simon, you know, finding his purpose, definitely a tearjerker. You know, I did find myself pretty, you know, moved. I rolled a few tears during this movie. One specific part that I think really moved me. I don't want to give it away, but it wasn't, you know, a specifically, you know, sad part. Just this one part of the movie. If you've seen it, it's kind of where everything in the movie kind of goes silent, and then all of a sudden Simon, he, you know, finds his voice and he is heard, and it's very moving, I think, and I think it brings his journey to a really great resolution, I think. So just a great performance. So yeah, I mean, I was very surprised by it. I really really like this movie. I did like it enough to even seek out the novel, A Prayer for Owen, Meany, which I hear is even better, which is good. I'm only, a mere few pages into it, but I can already tell, how much different it is, but at the same time, kind of the same it is. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But I wanted to get this review out first. Just because I don't want to dilute my feelings on the actual movie, because I found, I don't know, my own personal philosophy is if you see the movie and enjoy the movie first and then read the book, it makes the book even better. But if you read the book and enjoy the book first and then see the movie, you kind of enjoy the movie less. This is kind of how I've felt about my experience. But maybe that's just me. But 75% of the time, if not more, the book is always better. But not to take away from the movie. But Simon Birch, I think, with Mark Steven Johnson's directing and two great performances from the leads, this makes it a special movie, a moving movie with a very sincere heart to its core. So I'd rate Simon Birch 3.5 stars out of 4. The story is excellent, and the two actors are wonderful, particularly Ian Michael Smith, who gives a wonderful, wonderful performance. I loved it. So that's my review of Simon Birch. Definitely check it out. It's probably on Netflix. Have you seen the movie? Comment below. Let me know. I'd be curious to see what you think. Also, if you've read the book, am I hearing the right things? Is it really that good? So I'm curious to get into the book. But be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.